We're waiting for the group to gather and everyone to proceed.
So we're going to visit castle where they hit the ruins, the Romans and the Canaanites stuff, and then we're gonna visit some strikes locations.
Okay.
Where some civilian martyrs were reported. And now we're gonna meet the head of the municipality of Baalbek, and because he knew that you're coming, he is waiting for us there.
Oh, we're going inside, and we are going to get to the actual sites of some of the bombings, which is good, and we're going to meet the head of the Baalbek municipality. Wow, look at that.
Captured. This is the Baalbek ruins.
Bloody hell. Wow. We're at the Temple of Baal in Baalbek, which is mind-blowing, really. It's a wonderful classical ruins, beautiful architecture.
This is called the Manshia, which is the house of the Ottoman governor of Baalbek, built in the 1800s. You see how close they are to the actual ruins.
So they're landing bombs 40 yards away from one of the most important archaeological sites in the world. And it's horrible when you see it, and of course you realize the power of these missiles, and they're what, 5 vehicles destroyed, solid building taken down that had lasted 200 years, and they're doing the same to houses with children in. It's just awful. And as we're here, an Israeli drone is circling us continually. What a beautiful place Baalbek is. And I'm very keen later to get a chance to get down into the temple and learn more about it.
First, the situation is a bit critical because of the drone. Anyway, if any missiles landed near us, just open the doors and run, okay? Okay. If they missed us the first time, we might live. But right now the drone is very low, and as you can see, it's searching for something.
I think because the drone is circling so low, people are concerned that maybe taking particular interest in us.
It has been like circulating over us.
Then there's some discussion going on about whether we should be allowed to get into the ruins to wait there until it goes away.
So we're just waiting for instructions or confirmations to know what we can do, because it's not recommended that we move on the roads, because the Israelis target civilians without any. They can just target cars, moving cars.
I think the people with us think that once we're inside we'll be safer from being bombed than we are out here. I can sense a sort of palpable nervousness about them at the moment, just slightly worried. You're going to be stuck somewhere, pinned down by an Israeli drone, but there's a few more amazing places to be stuck, pinned down by an Israeli drone, but
good one.
Salam.
Salam. Good one. I don't know, if we had risk here, they shouldn't be here. You don't want to put them in risk.
No, they've changed their mind. No, we are going in.
Let's
No, we have to go.
go.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
Okay.
We're meant to be meeting with the mayor of the region of the North Bekaa Valley. He's not able to join us just at the moment because there are Israeli drones circling very low overhead. It's simply wonderful. It's the most incredible World Heritage Site, and Israeli bombs have dropped literally 20 yards from some of these internationally important features. Can't believe I'm here. And I can't believe I'm here, and there's no one else in here except us and the guard.
Yeah,
But
it's been closed since the beginning of the war.
that's a Venetian lion. That's Venice. Venice was here at some stage.
I'm gonna show you a few things. This here.
2,500 years ago, Switzerland was inhabited exclusively by Celtic tribes. You had the Latin culture, you had another culture around Zurich, and there's no doubt about that. You know, there's massive archaeological evidence of it, and it's not in dispute. You would have to be totally mad to say, well, 2,500 years ago, we Celts lived in Switzerland, therefore Scotland is going to claim Switzerland. You know, even if you found irrefutable evidence that this was Jewish, doesn't give them any right to it now. And just as the fact that Celts were in Switzerland doesn't give me any right to it now. You know, I can't turn up in Switzerland and say, my ancestor was here 2,000 years ago, give me your house.
Yeah.
And the fact that the world accepts that kind of utter nonsense, utter nonsense, is astonishing to me. When you realize that the governments of the most powerful states in the world act on that philosophy, and act with that belief, and are prepared to massacre women and children because of that belief, and don't care that 60,000 Palestinians or more have already been killed, don't care that 3,500 to 4,000 people in Lebanon have been killed, all because of this crazed belief in the right of a people to somewhere they happen to have used to live 3,000 years ago. It's totally nuts, and I can't believe it's happening. It's just extraordinary what life is like for the people here, because every day tens of people are being killed, suddenly destroyed. And remember, for every one killed, there are normally a multiple of that people seriously injured, perhaps maimed for life.
The reality is totally opposite to what the Western media is showing the audiences, and visits by individuals like you, Craig, make a huge difference because you bring the story from the ground, not from a Zoom video somewhere. Let's continue going around. Let's take a look at
It's terrorism. It's the absolute definition of terrorism. It's the terrorizing of a population in order to gain a political end. And the ultimate end Israel wants to take this area. We can see the Golan Heights from here. They're just up there, where Israeli troops have annexed land. And this is a beautiful, fertile valley, a wonderful place. And Israel would dearly like to annex it. And that's the ultimate goal. That's why they're killing these people. Appears to be an eagle holding keys. This place is so full of beauty, such a lovely place. There's such nice people who live here. We had some lovely kids on their bikes playing with us as we came in. And yet 60 people in this town were killed yesterday. 60 people dead, many more injured. I was a very good young man and boy. I used to go to church all the time. And I read and heard of Baal and the Canaanites, and I never thought I'd actually be here seeing it. You're talking of something on the scale of a modern cathedral. I mean, isn't that just wonderful? my great fear for Lebanon is a continued long-term, just as we've seen in Gaza, a year of destruction from here, with the death of tens and tens of thousands of people. I mean, we all pray that the world, having had enough of Israel, will stop that from happening. But that's what they're trying to do. I think there's no doubt that is their intention. This is about gathering evidence to present to public opinion in the West and elsewhere in the world, and evidence that stacks up the case for genocide against Israel. I had more of a chance to visit the heritage and spend time among it than I expected to get, and I'm very grateful for that. And now we're going to visit some of the actual sites where people were bombed and killed. Still have the drone hovering technically above our heads. Yes, I certainly never expected to come to the land of Baal and the Canaanites during a war where people are threatening to kill me. That's not what I anticipated happening. But then life takes strange turns. I'm more worried about breaking my neck falling down these steps at the moment. There we go. Two people died here, and you look among the wreckage, and plainly they're civilian homes. They're not missiles, they're not weapons factories. No matter how carefully you look, and we've been looking, there's nothing in these buildings that isn't the normal detritus of a civilian house. There are children's-sized bookshelves down there, and I think that's a fridge. Why are Western journalists not here seeing that what the Israelis are doing is simply killing civilians in civilian homes? Because that is what's happening. And there are no two sides to this. This is a massacre of civilians. Well, we still have a Israel drone overhead threatening to bomb us. This is the site of somewhere they did bomb. They destroyed the civilian houses both sides of here. And it's extremely plain these are civilian houses. I've climbed to the top here, I've looked through everything. There's nothing whatsoever to, justify the claims of Hezbollah installations or missile bases or anything. These were civilian homes. The detritus is plainly, it's heartbreaking. 2 people died here on this spot. 12 more were seriously injured. When you're here and you see it, you really understand. You really understand. And we are surrounded by other buildings which have become uninhabitable because of these blasts. So the total number of people who lost their homes here would be 10 or 12. And you're driving along in Baalbek on a lovely sunny day. Everything's perfectly normal, other than the drone overhead. And then suddenly you pass these scenes of random death and destruction. It's really horrifying.
It's like
This is every day for you.
that's every day at work. Yes. We have press cards. We have press signs on our car. Are we safe? Do we feel safe? So we have to leave immediately after this. Israeli aircraft just entered the airspace, and usually when there are this kind of drones and the F-15s or F-16s come, this means that they decided to target something, and they called for the big ones to come and target.
Well, we've just arrived back in Beirut, and on the way in here we've just driven past an absolutely brand new airstrike in the last few minutes, literally. Seems to be, well, it's around a shopping mall. Exactly what it is struck, I'm not entirely certain.
They targeted the building right in front of it this afternoon, and this is part of destroying everything in David. They could strike everything one day, but now they are Because these are civilian buildings.
Plainly, we could be in for another rough night in Beirut.